I got the glutes, I got the calves, I got the abs. It's time to get lit. It's time to get fit. Let's meal prep and get it in, get it in. Get transformation, freedom, and innermost heaven. Let's hit the gym and get fit, get fit.
Well, hello. You haven't tuned in with Enriched by Tina. And today is Tina's tips. You always get tips on Tuesday. So remember Tina's tips. So I wanted to let's hop on in here and see who's coming in, and those that will be coming in and catching it on the replay. Thank you for tuning in here with Tina, with Enriched by Tina, here to help you get your whole life together. And y'all know that this month is National Diabetes Month, and that is something that's like near and dear to me, to my heart. Those of you that's been rocking with me, been following me, and on my journey, know that's how Enriched by Tina, the whole transformation came about due to this thing called diabetes, this chronic disease that so much affects our African American community at large. And it is an epidemic. It's an epidemic. Along with the pandemic, we got this epidemic that's been here for a minute. I see it's 4 of you on here. Let's see who talk to me out there. Let's see who all who's out there. Say something. Tell me, hey, something. Give me a like, give me some hearts or something that I know who you are. You ain't got to say nothing. You don't have to come on. I won't put you on the screen, but say something. You know, when you come in somebody's house, my mama always says it's rude to be in somebody's house and not say nothing. Hey, beautiful. How you doing, Keisha? And I'm telling you, it does something when you know who you're talking to. You see people peeping, and somebody knock on your door and they don't say nothing. You know, just let me know you're listening. Give me some hearts, some thumbs up. Y'all know I'm trying to get my YouTube channel up. So if you have not gone on over there to Enriched by Tina on YouTube, going on over there and like it, because I'm over a third of the way. I got about 20, almost 25 followers, I believe, last time I checked. So I'm 3/4 of the way, 1/4 of the way. I got 3 more fourths to go to get to that 100. So going on over there and help your sister out, and tell a friend of a friend. All right. Well, I'm not going to hold you long waiting on folk to come on in. Like they said, waiting on the thousands to come on in. No, I'm just joking. But who knows? One day, maybe 1,000 people clicking through viewing. But today, like I said, this month is National Diabetes Month. And diabetes is something that is near dear to me, because it tried to overtake my body, tried to engulf me with it. I got diagnosed like 6 years ago with pre-diabetes, and then in 2019, the doctors said, you're not gonna do right. And guess what showed up, y'all? And right here, what showed up that hurt my feelings. So I mean, when I say it hurt my feelings, it really hurt my feelings. And when this showed up, y'all know I talk about those M&Ms. And when the M&Ms showed up, it got real for me. And so when I say M&Ms, I'm not talking about these chocolate covered candies. The M&Ms that showed up at my house was the metformin and the meter. And I'm telling you, that was a game changer for me. Whenever it came up, that metformin and meter, it got really real. Hey, Sister LaJune, it got real. And when I tell you it got real quick. So I had to do what I had to, shift in my mindset and get myself together. So that's when this whole transformation came about. And once I was successful with it, then here come Enriched by Tina. So So some of you that may not have known that story and where the Enriched by Tina come and the wellness coach and all those things came from a pain point of mine, which was the pre-diabetes. So I'm not gonna hold you long. So I know you if you peep the announcement in the description. I put it out there last night. Then I did a little revamp to give you a little bit more details of what we're gonna actually be talking about. I want you to give me some thumbs up if you like the way my improvement. You know, give me a little thumbs up, give me some likes, give me some hearts to let me know you appreciate all these things I'm doing in the to try to get some education to you. I'm trying to help you at large, the community at large. That's what I'm here to do, is to help. So the description talked about there were 3 types of diabetes, and then I'm going to tell you some foods and stuff to stay away from. So I think that's pretty fair. So I want you to rate me this. Make sure y'all know I get off task, but make sure I stay on task to give you those 3 types of diabetes. And then I want to give you some foods to stay away. And then you can go back on for your evening and give you some food for thought to make you think about how your food choices and the things that you're doing within your for your lifestyle. Because I don't want you to think about this once the month of November go away that you decide I don't want to hear anything else about diabetes. I'm done. I'm over it. No, I want you to really evaluate yourself to see where you are, see where you fall. And with that being said, right there in that description, when it tells you to take a test to find out whether or not you are even at risk at being at what you say at risk for what. I'm glad you asked. So now let's talk about these 3 types of diabetes. And number 1 is the type 1 diabetes. Well, let me just back up. Let me just back up because y'all know I get super hyped. I get super hyped. I get super excited. You know how sometimes my brain get a hold of myself. So let me tell you what diabetes is. Let's start there. And diabetes is a disease, a chronic disease that occurs when your pancreas is no longer able to make the insulin, or when your body cannot produce the insulin like it used to. That's when your body goes into, and they tell you have this disease because your pancreas is not working. And so when you think about that, and so when you think about this insulin is a type of hormone that is made in the pancreas and is very key to how food is being processed when we eat. So every time we eat, food gets processed into energy, and that energy turns into glucose. And the glucose, depending on how your body absorbs, will let you know whether or not, if you know, when you go to the doctor and they take your blood sugars, that's what they're testing to see how well your pancreas is working, how well your body produces the sugar and the insulin, the glucose in your body. So that's the whole thing about this whole A1C thing. It's really how your body is functioning and processing the sugars that you eat. And everything that you eat, it gets processed into energy because food is fuel, and depend on how your body produces. So if you have type 1 is when you can't produce any insulin at all. And so then therefore they give you that insulin pump. So then that's type 1. And that means you're no longer able to produce. Now the type 2 is when your body does not utilize it and properly. So sometimes your body, you can do it, you can produce a little bit, but then your body doesn't use it properly. So then you have too much in your system, and that's when you go over and you get overboard, and that's when you have these high blood sugar levels, and that's when you have type 2. So type 1, you're not producing enough. Type 2, you're overproducing. And then number 3 is something that, men, you don't have to worry about this one. This one, you don't even have to be involved in, men, because guess what? This is only for women. This is the one that says a woman only thing, because it's gestational diabetes. It's when you're actually, when your body processes, and when you're pregnant, and that means your body's not able to handle the way you produce the sugar when you're pregnant. So y'all remember the ladies when we drink that orange stuff? Now they got all kinds of flavors. That orange thing, I remember that thing. Oh my God, it made me so sick. I thought I loved sugar, But when you drink that orange glucose, and for those the mothers that's on here, because I click my comments that's on here. Hey sis, hey, listen, if you have ever given birth to a baby, do you all remember this test? Just put your put put a one in here if you remember of taking that test when you were pregnant, drinking that that orange stuff. And I think now for some of you younger mothers, they may not even have orange anymore, but it was that nasty orange was the only flavor back in the day. You know, put your hands up, give me emojis, put something in there, let me know y'all remember what I'm talking about. Men, you ain't gonna be able to experience this right here. And but let me tell you something. That was the nastiest stuff that I ever had. And then they made you sit there and then had to watch you and then they had to process and see how your body on a time of the level each time they checked you every hour to see how your body was producing. So that's the one that's with the gestational diabetes. So you have to think about those things. So when you think about all those types of diabetes and how your body processes and do all those things, then you have to start really thinking about these things. And the older we get, our body does some things. And it says, research says that 10% of women who become pregnant in the US will become a diabetic. And they can even tell that even when you're giving birth and the thing. So just think about, what did they say? Was it running a little high? Chances are, if you experienced that while you was pregnant, they will say you would become a diabetic if you don't change the trajectory and change your lifestyle and change what you're doing, because you have to do those things. And so those are the 3 different types of diabetes. And then, we have one that I didn't even think about this one, but this is the one where probably thousands of us people range in. It's not quite yet diabetes and you're not quite safe. It's called yes. And then when you are pregnant, most time the babies are big as all get out. That's another sign you got this huge baby. So listen, when you think about the one where the majority of us are, you're not quite yet a diabetic. Put your hand, give me a sign up, or give me a 2 in the chat if you have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes. Have you even heard of the term, or the doctor ever said anything to you? Be careful. Put a 2 in the chat. Those of you that's catching this on the replay, put a 2 in the chat, because that's where I was for 6 years. I was in the pre-diabetic range. To me, I thought I was cool. I thought that was, hey, I'm good. But do you not know that that is the most dangerous place to really be, y'all? Because we're in the pre-diabetic range. It's not high enough according to, borderline. Yeah, when they say that, you're in a very dangerous zone. And I'm going to tell you why. One, we're doing whatever we want to do. We're eating whatever, pretty much what we want to eat. We really don't realize how much the food that we're eating affects our blood sugars and how much, and we don't know whether we're up, we're high, we're low, or any of those things, to all of a sudden, then you start getting some major warning signs. And see, for me, that was my feet. Now, those of you all know I love to run and praise God and give God all the glory. I also like to travel and go. One of my good girlfriends, she calls me hot feet. So y'all know the feet is very important to you, because guess what? That is the road. That's your vehicle to get you from point A to point B. Because if you're not on Pat and Charlie, that's what we used to say back in the day. If you're not on Pat and Charlie, which is your 2 feet, listen, Pat and Charlie gonna be with you to the end if nothing doesn't happen. Because if you don't take care of yourself, oh my God, we'll get into that next week. We'll talk about some of these signs and effects next week. But right now we're talking about this. So let me get into some of these foods. I have not lost track. I was telling you that those of us that's been in that pre-diabetes range is in a very dangerous range, because we're eating whatever we want to do what we want to do, and we're not checking blood sugars. Why? Because nobody told us that we had to check blood sugars, because we're pre-diabetic. We're not there yet. So if we keep on the same way that we're doing, to keep doing the same old things, guess what? Eventually, like what happened to me, guess what showed up? Them M&Ms. Y'all know it. I wasn't talking about these chocolate covered M&Ms either. I'm talking about this M&Ms. The metformin in the meter showed up with a vengeance. And when I had to prick my finger, although I was not a diabetic, but she said, I'm going to give you this metformin because you ain't going to do right. Listen, that's the first sign of it when they give you that medicine. You're on your way. So I'm not saying not to listen to your doctors and take the medicine, but for me, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle pricking my fingers 3 times a day, and I just was not going to take that pill. I just wasn't. So I called the doctor and said, well, what can I do? Now, that's my stance. Now, you do what you're comfortable and what your faith tells you to do, and you listen to your doctor, because this is just for information to help you move in somewhere. I am not a medical doctor. I don't treat, diagnose, heal, or do any of those types of things. But I can only tell you what I did, because the only person that I can do and change and do anything with is me. Okay. So I just want to put that out there as my disclaimer, because I don't want nobody to say they was listening to Tina at Enriched by Tina, and she said, no, this is what I did. I took authority over my life because I didn't want to prick myself. So guess what I had to do? I had to start thinking about what I needed to do it. And so when you don't pay attention, I start tipping, y'all. When I say tip, my feet was killing me. So I had to make a major change, and I had to make it real quick, fast, and in a hurry. So number one, which we talked about last week, if those of you that got a chance to tune in with us last week, you about know what number one of the things in the foods that you need to stay away from. You already know. If you was here from last week, or you saw the replay, do you have an idea what number one might be? Do anybody know what number one might be? That is a good idea. Yeah, you will change your eating pattern, but I talk specifically, and I want y'all to start tuning in and listening and stuff, because I'm gonna do a little quiz and might give away. I'm gonna give away some things to see if y'all will be really paying any attention over here. Well, I'm not gonna behold you. I'm not gonna give you suspense. Number one is the sugary drinks. And last week we found out how much sugar was in, the Pepsi. Y'all know I talk about Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel is my father. And the sugary drinks, and how much sugar in one Pepsi was 19 teaspoons. And that was a lot. It was 41 grams of sugar and 41 added sugars. So those sugary drinks, that's the number one. That's number one right there. And the majority of our calories that we take in, and a lot of the sugar that we take in on a daily basis, is through our drinks. So I did a whole recap. So if you want to go back over into the community, Enriched by Tina, or if you want to follow the community and get Enriched for Life, because I'm getting ready to do some more in-depth teaching in there that I won't do on the lives. I'm going to really build up that community to really help that community. So if you want to be a part of it, go send a request, or send me, put it here in the chat. Say, yes, I want to be in the Get Enriched for Life. Then I will put you in that private. I have a private Facebook group that I'm going to be doing a lot of more teaching and doing some things in there in depth. It's going to be very inclusive, so you'll get more information than I do on these lives. These lives is just to give you a little appetizer, so you can go on over there to that community where I'm going to pour my heart in to really try to help you if this is something you really want to do and change your eating habits. So yes, number one is the sugary drinks. Some of y'all are on there. And number two is the trans fats. And you're like, okay, trans fats, what is this? Although the trans fat don't directly raise your sugar, but however, they are found in things that we love so much, like margarine, peanut butter, the different spreads. And I know we got some coffee drinkers on here. It's in your creamer, the frozen drinks. It's in the food that the manufacturers use, like your muffins, your crackers, your baked goods, that they help to be able to keep the shelf life in it. They put all those things in there. And so even though it doesn't directly do your blood, raise your blood sugar, but it's linked to inflammation and insulin resistance, and sometimes that big old stored belly fat. So we have to think about those things. And so when you're buying your snacks and stuff, look at the label. That's something I always tell you. Just because it says it's sugar free or it says it's something, you be very, very surprised. And once I get myself, I'm getting my whole life together here and get my team. I got a little team, y'all. So that helps me out. And so in the chat is a test, a link that you can actually click on it, and right here in the chat up under Derek Jones, he posted it, and it has where you can go in there and take and try to see if you want to know whether you're pre-diabetic or not. Take this test, because a lot of times we don't know until you're passed out, you somewhere, and all of a sudden, I've had several friends and family members, they get hospitalized only to find out they've been having a 5 and 6 and 7, 800 sugar range. They pass out, they blank out, they're real sick, and then there's nothing that they can do about it. So yes, I like that. You said, yeah, 5 years of testing regular, paying attention to yes, you have to do that. You have to do that, Mama Faye. If you're not gonna test and you're not gonna eat right, you have to. If you know you're not eating right and you're not doing the right things, you need to pay attention to everything. Because I'm telling you, this is a transparent moment. Y'all know I'm very open. I'm an open book. I went to the doctor. This is what I used to do. And if I know I hadn't done right, I'd cancel my appointment. Because I didn't want to hear what the doctor had to say to me. So I kept counseling 1 year. The doctor counseled a couple of times. This wasn't even 1 year. This was actually during COVID. They kept trying to figure out because they didn't know what was going on. So this was 2020, y'all. Now, mind you, I had already started the lifestyle change and was doing some things and wasn't really for sure where the blood sugar was because, COVID, I was supposed to go in March. I didn't get my blood tested until August. I was supposed to go March, and they kept rescheduling, things kept happening, numbers kept going up and all this other stuff. So I went from, it might have been August or September of 2019. No, I went in October of 2019. No, I go back. It was July, because that's when they told, when the metformin and the meter showed up. And I was like, by any means necessary, I got to do something. So the first thing I did do was rethink my drink, because I was drinking McDonald's tea. But back to the story. I ended up not seeing my regular doctor. So sometimes if you can't see your regular doctor, see the PA or see the other person in the practice. And I'm going somewhere. She saw on my chart that I was a pre-diabetic, right? So my doctor just see me, tell me what she gonna tell me, and don't do the full physical. When they get comfortable with you, that's what they do. They don't do all other things, and they done told you what to do. Some doctors ain't gonna waste their energy. They ain't gonna fool with you. They not gonna say anything to you. And when I tell you, she did every test under the sun to me. One of the tests, which it kind of startled me, and I didn't have a reason to think that I would be positive. At least I would hope not, because I've been in the same committed relationship for over 20 something years. So she even tested my test. She tested me for HIV. She tested me. I mean, she did ran a whole bunch of tests on me. And I'm looking at her like, so she tells me to take my shoes off, y'all. And I'm looking at her like, what? She did a test on my feet. And this was game changer for me, y'all. She did that, and guess what? Some of the pricks she was doing, your girl could not feel it. Some of the pricks. So guess what? those of you that's in this listening audience, although they're not telling you this, they're saying, oh, you're fine if your numbers between here and there. But if you keep running blood sugars that's high and they're not maintained and they're not regulated, it's going to start affecting stuff little by little. So remember, I told you I would tip because when I've had too much sugar, my feet hurt. Do you not know I have not a whole lot, just a minimum, but very small can't feel on the bottom of my feet. Just very small. But that small was enough to scare the bejesus out of me because guess what? My feet is how I get around. Remember, I'm hot feet, y'all. I likes to travel. So guess what? When I eat too much sugar, even right now, because every now and then, you know, you get a little weak, you know, the holidays is coming and all this other stuff, and you want to try stuff. And I'm telling you, it will make you either do right or you don't want to be sitting around with 9 toes. And then when they start cutting off these toes, then they cut your whole foot. Then next thing you know, they up to your knee. Do something now while you can. If you're in the pre-diabetic range, or even if you're a full-fledged diabetic, start making some changes because the older we get, our body change anyway. But if we don't put the proper stuff in it, I'm telling you, yes, it's almost like they'll say that it's neuropathy. Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Yeah, they'll say like it's neuropathy, but she said I just had a very smile. She says, you know, but you on the right path. But when I tell you, yeah, it affect your eyes, your ears. I'm gonna see if I got a good friend. If she would come on and I interview her toward the end of the month, and I may come on a special day just to do it because she lost the sight. Because of course we're Christians, we're believers. Most of the time we can be real ignorant, not making smart decisions following Christ. Sometimes we can because we're not claiming it. Well, did she end up losing her sight? And some people have lost sights, have lost kidneys have started shutting down. Some people have congestion heart failure. I'm not gonna get into all that because, like I said, that's next week. So come on back next week so I can tell you about if you're not eating right and doing right, what might happen. And that might scare you into doing something right. I don't want to scare you in a bad way, but I want to scare you to change. The third types of food is starchy foods, which we know some of y'all have put it in the chat. It's your breads, it's your rice, it's your pasta, it's your corn, y'all know we like potatoes and French fries. And we know we're gonna have some potato salad come Thursday next week. But all those types and corn and all those types of things are starchy vegetables. So guess what? They help raise that blood sugar. And guess what? Because I've been doing a little research so I can bring it to y'all. Do you not know that starchy foods? I didn't know this. So this is really has changed the game when I want to sneak and go to McDonald's and get them fries, or when I want to go out to eat and I get fries instead of the vegetable with my food. Even though I have the lettuce wrap from Red Robin, Derek, it's about time for our family to get out there because you make the guy on the grill make the broccoli the best. And I don't know what you tell them. So every time I go trying to get broccoli on the grill, it's not right. So we got to make a family trip. So even though I have a veggie burger in a lettuce wrap, I yield sometime to those fries. Well, baby, when I just read this research that starch gets to sugar, raise your blood sugar quicker than sugar. Did y'all know that? I put that in the chat if any of y'all knew that, because I'm telling you, I did not know that. He said if it does not have a face, it's a carb. So listen, that thing, I don't know about y'all. I did not know that starchy foods gets to the raising that blood sugar quicker than me getting my cookie cakes and pies that y'all know I love. Y'all, that's finna be the game changer for me. So I'm learning even as I teach y'all because I didn't know. I didn't know because I thought I'm just gonna get fries. That's not bad. I might as well should have ate the brownie. You know, I go to the restaurants and don't do the dessert. It's better for me not to do the potato and get the cookie. So I've been doing the wrong swap because I've been saying I'm not gonna eat the cake or eat the sweets, but I'm gonna eat these fries or the potato chips or something like that. But baby, as they say, baby, it's a game changer for me. I hope that this sparks in some of y'all that's on here now. Oh, your doctor told you that today. My God, ain't this something, Veronica? We have to really, really do some research. And like I said, for me, since I haven't been doing the processed sugar, so when in about 2 years, and then I slip and dip every now and then. Let me tell you something. The body doesn't process it anymore. It really starts to reject. That's the same thing that happened to me with beef. I don't even do beef anymore because of it. My body rejected. After I didn't do it for 60 days and tried to add it back, my body rejected. And then number 4 is the flavored fruit yogurt. A lot of times people say, oh, yogurt is good. I'm going to get the one with the blueberries in the bottom of it. No, you get the plain yogurt. You get the ones that's got less than 4 grams of sugar in it. 2 or 4 or the zero that's plain. The fruit in the bottom, baby, you might as well go on and eat the fruit. You might as well go on and just get it because it's gonna raise your blood sugars up. I had number 5, but I got somebody called me and I never did write it up. But number 5 is, y'all know, it's those sugary cereals. You know, the ones we grew up on. The ones that the Captain Crunch, the Fruit Loops. Come on, let's name some of those sugars you grew up. Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles. Come on, put some of those sugary that we buy. Sugar Smacks. Put it in there. Put it in the chat. Some of those sugars that we buy grandbabies, y'all. Those sugary cereals are not healthy for us. They're not. So we have to really start thinking about even the stuff that we want to give our even what's that cookie crisp, the cookies, they got like Oreo cereals and stuff. I'm talking about the actual Frosted Flakes and Apple Jacks. Yes. What was it? Corn Pops. Let's put some of those cereals we grew up on, baby. And then we done gave to our grandchildren. Yeah, girl, I love a good Frosted Flakes. But you know, when I grew up in my house, and some of y'all might contest it, we couldn't afford Frosted Flakes, baby. But we got those corn flakes. Ha! Come on, we got those corn flakes. And put some regular sugar on it. You can tell us we didn't have us no Frosted Flakes. Oh, what's Swab Snakes? I've never heard of that. That must be a northern cereal. Or maybe that's something else that's maybe not be cereal. Those healthy ones are the worst. Yeah, if they're saying everything is loaded with sugar, even if it's saying the cereals that we have now, now and they're putting on it now that is whole grain. Y'all better read those labels. Even when you're getting it for the grandbaby. Honeycombs, I look, Mama Faye, we old school. That was my go-to cereal. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I used to get a big Jeffro Bodine bowl. And my brother came one time and he loaded with sugar and we loved it. And the Sugar Smacks. I had that big old Jeffro Bodine. It would take me two bowls of cereal and that box of cereal would be gone. And I'm telling you, I love that cereal. And my brother, I almost beat him up when he ate my cereal because it was my cereal. And you know how you are when you're expecting and you're pregnant and you have all these cravings. But that was my go-to cereal. And then I love Captain Crunch Berries. I love the Fruit Loops and all those things. And every now and then, Brother Blackman, look, we had plain sandwiches. Listen, don't play. I don't know. Listen, you better know it. You could put some mayonnaise and something in between a piece of bread and call it. Don't mess around and do no banana sandwich. I don't know if y'all know nothing about that up north, Mama Faye and Mama Laura, but a banana sandwich, And don't mess around and lace that thing with some mayonnaise on one side and peanut butter on the other. Woo-wee! And guess what? We don't need the bread. We don't need the banana. And depending on the peanut butter. So if you eat all of that, wow. your blood sugar is going like boop, 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 boop. So as a recap, we've been talking about here, yes, and the banana sandwich, yes, but bananas is high in sugar, y'all. And so think about some of those fruits. I forgot, I didn't even think about fruits that was on here. That's another one. Some of the fruits that which we're talking about, you have your kiwi, y'all watermelon, grapes. We know we love grapes. Grapes are very high in sugar. They will raise up they're high on the glycemic pyramid, and so are bananas and watermelon, and I loved all of those. Yes, pineapple, yes, it's very high in sugar. It's good, but it's very high in sugar, y'all. So what I said all this to say, what, let's start thinking about what we're putting in our bodies, especially if you have been given a diagnosis of being a diabetic, whether it's type 1 or type 2. If you're pregnant and they say, oh, you got gestational diabetes, or like over half of the population in our community is pre-diabetic. Start looking at some of these things. Start reading those labels. Start looking at the drinks that we drink. Number 2, the trans fats that's on there, which is the peanut butter, the packaged goods, the butter, the margarine, the sugar, the creamer that we put in our coffee. The starchy foods, your breads, your pastas, the cereal, the potatoes, those type. Not what cereal sometimes can be. The white bread, the white flour, anything made with white flour, all those types of things is what's used in starch, the starchy foods, the corn, even sweet peas is starch, y'all. It's a green pea, but it's starchy. So think about those things, and the flavored yogurt, and as well as those sugars. Number 5 is the sugary cereal, and number 6 is those high in sugar foods. That would be number 7. I mean, number 6 would be those fruits like bananas and things that are high on the glycemic scale of food chart. So I hope that yes, your bread, yes, and anything that ends in OSE. And I think I'm going to do a lesson on the different names of sugar. So in the description, it says that if you want to learn some other things about diabetes or the different foods or different things like that, if it says heavily syrup, we already know anything that's got that in an OSE, and there's other things that in there. So I'm not saying go on a crash diet, because a diet is just something that we do temporary. And when you look at the root word of diet, think about it. It says die. And sometimes when you're on a diet, you feel like you're dying. So you want to not just say, I want to do this. But my go-to thing to say to you all is start somewhere. And like I said this last week, and I want to keep this quote again. Nicole Green says it like this: start where you can, use what you have, and do what you can. Because guess what? You can't change everything. Rome wasn't built in one day. You didn't get to be a pre-diabetic or a diabetic overnight. It took a period of time, a series of events to get you to where you are. So guess what? To undo some of those habits that we have, it's going to take us to do one thing at a time. So if you just become aware of fruit contents. Okay. Yes. So let's start somewhere like let's set a goal. I like that, Derek. Set a goal to consume less than 50 carbs per day. And most everything we eat is a carb, whether it's a simple or complex. So start there. Don't even try to get into what's high, what's going to raise my blood. Just say, let me look and see, can I set a goal and do that? And like I said, you can put it in the chat. you can inbox me. But in there it says, what else do you 50 grams? And put it in the chat, put it in the box. Those of you that catch this on the replay, I can talk, y'all. Replay. Put it in there to see what more things would you like to see or want to know about this subject, about this topic. You can get in touch with me. I'm on all social media channels, and you can follow me on all social media platforms Enriched by Tina. This will be Instagram, YouTube. I have a Facebook page, and I'm also on Clubhouse as Enriched by Tina. So those social media platforms. And tell me, inbox me if you don't want to put it out here in the chat. I get it. Sometimes, you don't want people to know what your struggle is. I get it. Then inbox me. Say, hey, I would like to learn more about this, or know a little bit about this, or would like to hear some information on this. And I will do my best to do my research. And if I don't know, I'll say, hey, I don't know. But let me find out. And to get you, I want to be able to get you some very good information that you can, to help you make a very informed decision, that as we do this challenge of, and I know we're coming up with the holidays, but guess what, y'all? If you can make some changes during the holiday, then that's half the battle, because a lot of times we can't do some of the things that we do because of the pressure of, we got this party, we got that party, we got that stuff. So you can get in touch with us at enrichedbytina@gmail. You can follow us on social media to get updates and reach out for the updates on the social media profiles. It's Facebook. There it is. You can click the link, and there's all the things right there in the chat. And I just want to thank you for tuning in on this evening as we talked about the 3 types of diabetes and the foods that you should avoid if you are been given this type of diagnosis. Thank you for tuning in with Enriched by Tina. We're here to help you get your whole life together, one meal at a time. Thank you, and I will see you on Friday as we tune in to our Fitness Friday, giving you some things to get you some juice in your joints, and we will see you at 6 o'clock. Thank you, and have a good rest of your evening.
Now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you